We got some boom picks, sleepers, and streamers for week one coming at you right now. Now, for my first boom play for week one is a quarterback. Matthew Stafford looking for some payback against the Detroit Lions in week one, where I expect this game to be a high-scoring game, a shootout rather, with Matthew Stafford with a full, healthy, assembled roster with Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Kyren Williams at the helm to make Matthew Stafford back to form of what he was last season in week 12 on, strong in the fantasy playoffs. He was a top 5 quarterback with a full, healthy, assembled squad. So I'm looking at Matthew Stafford as a week one option if you're not too confident with your rookie quarterback, an example of a Jaden Daniels or even a Caleb Williams or even a high price, high risk, high reward with an Anthony Richardson as your QB1. You can go out there and get you a Matthew Stafford, or if he's already on your roster as a QB2, to put him in the starting lineups to walk out of week one with a W. He averaged 20 fantasy points per game from week 12 to week 18 last season, people. Led the league with 284 passing yards per game. Sign me up as a boom pick for week one in starting lineups. Coming at you hot with another boom pick, and it's another quarterback for the same examples. If you're not confident in your week one quarterback that you drafted at a high price, you can go ahead and get Trevor Lawrence in the starting lineups against this weakened pass rush with the Miami Dolphins, which he could sit back in that pocket, cool, calm, and collected, and sit back and dish it off to the guys on the perimeter, his new toys, and Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr. I look at this matchup, man, as an opportunity for Trevor Lawrence to start the season strong, because usually I'm a guy that likes to fade Trevor Lawrence in one quarterback leagues. But again, for examples, if you're not too confident with your QB1, if there is some areas of confusion, if there's some areas of question, and you want to start week one off, this will be the matchup you can get in on and get a Trevor Lawrence in those starting lineups and put up some potential big fantasy points in week one. Now to give you a streamer, and it's a defense, DST, people. These positions matter if they're still in your leagues, if they're still able to be available. Go out there and get the New York Giants going up against the Minnesota Vikings, because, man, I believe in this defense now that they have one of the most scariest defensive lines, man. Elijah Chapman, undrafted rookie, has a motor on him. You have Brian Burns, who just entered. You have Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau. And this is a defense, man, that was up there in takeaways. They were tied first in takeaways last season. So I believe in this going up against a Sam Darnold and this strong Vikings offensive line. I'm curious with the addition of Brian Burns being able to get after a Sam Darnold who hasn't started many games in the last couple of seasons. The last time we saw Sam Darnold actually start some consecutive games, and it was with the Panthers, and we saw that kind of crash and burn when it ultimately ended up to be Sam Darnold of who he is. So this could be an opportunity for DST options here for Giants to be plug and play here, where you could stream these guys throughout the seasons, man. They got a couple good matchups coming on, so I would hang around and have the Giants DST on the watch list so you can plug and play them for opportunities like this one. Next up, I have another streaming option. Now, if you're like me, man, you know football is back when you start seeing guys like Kyle Pitts on the injury list with a hamstring issue that is limited. So what do you do now? You go out there and go pivot to another streaming option here at tight end, Tyler Conklin. This dude has 87 targets in the last 3 seasons. 87 on the dot in the last 3 seasons. He is a reliable target in an offense that has Aaron Rodgers, who may not be as mobile after this Achilles tear, where he might need a lot of dump offs and reliable targets, and that's who Tyler Conklin is. He has a 70% catch rate in the last 3 seasons, man. Throughout his career, he's always been a guy that you can rely on, and this is huge, especially in the red zone. And we know Aaron Rodgers likes to make unknown and random tight ends relevant at times, so I definitely like Tyler Conklin throughout the season as a pivot option. If you're dealing with injuries at the tight end position like Kyle Pitts already, that's how I know football is back, when Kyle Pitts is on the injury list heading into the week, man. But this is a great option you could stream throughout the season and pivot to right now in week one to put in starting lineups to kind of salvage that tight end position with Kyle Pitts or any other tight end that you have any questions about going into week one. Last but certainly not least, man, it is my sleeper for week 1. Got you Greg Dortch. And if you've been following me on Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms, you understand why I'm so hyped for Greg Dortch this season. We're going to Dortch land. There will be fireworks at the end of the night, but Greg Dortch is a sleeper in week 1 just based on the chemistry he has with Kyler Murray. I know everybody's thinking about, what about Marvin Harrison? What about Michael Wilson? What about Trey McBride? Here I'm going with chemistry when it comes to these wide receivers. Marvin Harrison has not played an NFL snap with Kyler Murray. Michael Wilson has only played 5 games with Kyler Murray in his career. When you're looking at Greg Dortch, he has 21 games played with Kyler Murray, so therefore I'm hanging my hat on chemistry here, and the dude can separate. That's one of the best things about Greg Dortch. He can separate and create after the catch. He has a 3.5 target separation rate with Kyler Murray in his career, and he has a better passer rating when targeted at 98 passer rating from Kyler Murray than Michael Wilson, which is at a low, let me see, right here to be exact, 69.4 passer rating when targeted from Kyler Murray. So give me chemistry, give me a guy that can separate and create after the catch. Man, Greg Dortch, I'm hyped for week 1 as a fantasy sleeper. So this wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. And please make sure you guys like and subscribe. And I'm so hyped for week 1. We got some great plays. We got some boom picks, some streamers, and sleepers that you guys can plug in for week 1. So good luck, man. Let's get this W. And you guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.